progressing along. This piece here was broken. I need to take this off. I'm going to paint that plate here gold. I'm going to replace this front end. It's cold and windy out here. But I need to get the rest of this apart so I can get those two pieces there painted. I'm going to have to actually take this one off. I will when I put the new one on. But looks like this bottom one holds the light on. Looks like I can probably pull this front end out without doing much more to it than what I've got here. I have to take this stuff here loose off of the top. And pull the forks out. I gotta have to pull all this top stuff off here because of the this one's got an air crossover tube in here. This is 89 or something, and the 97 I've got doesn't have that. I think there's some other difference. The drain screws are a little different. I'm not sure what all, but I think what I need to do here is just jack this thing up, get this front wheel off the ground, pull the front wheel off. I can leave these brakes and everything hooked up to the forks, I believe. I've got a whole nother set of brakes and everything else. Anyway, just start taking this front end apart and see if there's anything unusual about that. If so, then I'll video it. Well, this was easy. There's a pinch bolt here. The axle just pulls out, and but the wheel won't come out because these brakes are hitting. I probably have to take them both off. I'm not sure, but they only got a couple bolts in them. Yeah, one brake caliper is enough to get it all off, or to get the wheel out. I have to change the discs on this. It's another thing I need to do. The only thing here, be careful with your speedometer sending unit, and you have a spacer here that goes into the front wheel. So yeah, you want to make sure you don't lose that stuff, or at least if you get it out, make sure you don't lose it. And I'm just gonna stick this axle back in here for now. I don't have to do anything with it. I've got another axle in the other front end, but this should keep it together and help me pull the whole thing apart in one piece. I got all the pinch bolts loose and pull this big nut off of here. I don't think, yeah, see, it's loose. I should be able just to pull it right off of there. Let me get both hands. Okay, that top triple tree just lifts right off of there. I'll have to take these things out. I think they probably just slide out. I might have to have to do anything with those. Looks like I can just take these two bolts here, or nuts here. There's a special tool to do that with. I don't have one, so I'm just going to use a punch and a hammer to unscrew them. And basically this thing ought to fall out. I might have to take this crossover tube off here to clear my wires, because I will have to replace this, I'm pretty sure, because the holes here are not going to be big enough for those new forks. Just as a note here, there's a little lock that goes in there. This thing here just screws right off. Don't look like it's got any pressure on it. And then there's a little washer spacer here. It comes off. I don't know. It doesn't feel like it doesn't want to come off. But anyway, it comes off. Then I can use a punch to hammer that thing loose. I just use a good punch. Use a chisel or anything, but you don't want to booger up this nut here if you can help it. So this should just punch out and the whole thing should fall out of there. I just bent this little tube out of the way. Don't know what the deal would be if you were trying to replace your fork tubes and put this thing back on, but for me, I got completely different tubes. I'm just trying to get enough room here to get my wires through, so all of this this crap up here on top will kind of clear here. I just want to be able to drop this this front end out of here. I'll have to take off my brakes here. Nah, the clutch will be alright because it'll fall past it, but the brakes are hooked to the thing. I'll just take that out. I don't want to lose all my brake fluid. Not that I don't want to lose it, I just don't want to get it all over the place. I'll probably just pull this off of one of the calipers here. I'll just pull a line off of that one and drain it into a container. Well, I'll zoom on this camera, but I cleaned it up a little. And you can see, you can see up in there how they were rusted. I can't feel it, but I can definitely see it. And anyway, that's bad. I'm going to try to take some steel wool to it and see if I can't polish it up a little bit. If I don't have to, I'd rather not replace these bearings, but from the looks of it, I'm probably going to have to, and if I have to do one, I'm going to do them both. I'm not going to mess around with it. Nah, it's no good. I can feel with my finger, and these things have enough trouble with high-speed wobbles and so forth, and it's critical to have the front end set right. So I know I'm going to have to replace this. Anyway, I'm just going to stick the other front end up in here and make sure that the bearings and everything are the same. I think they are, but we'll find out here in a minute. Well, here's the other front end. These bearings look much better. Not too swift, this top one, but the bottom one looks alright. I don't even know why I'm bothering with this, because I know it ain't gonna work. Anyway, I'm gonna just stick a little grease on these, put them up in there, and just see what it looks like. Well, they went right in. It's not real tight, but they feel fine. Still gonna replace those bearings, but at least I can go ahead and kind of loosely put this thing together and put the tire on it so I can roll it up out of the way. I don't want to be trying to paint here on it. I just need to get it where I can roll it. But it went in good, and as far as I can tell, the bearings are exactly the same. I'll check the part numbers on them first, but I don't think this will be much trouble at all to put it up. I have to replace all this stuff, of course, because this little tiny top just won't fit these big old forks. You can tell a lot of difference. By eyeball look at it, but in person you can tell these are much beefier forks. And I like that's polished aluminum, and these are painted, and these also have a 4 caliper braking system instead of just a 2 caliber like these. So anyway, I'll just kind of roughly put it back together and see what all I have to redo up here to these new fork tops up there. Kind of cold out here, wind's blowing. It was nice there for a couple days, and all of a sudden it turned bad. Alright, I gave up on this last night. Just too windy and rainy. I did stick in this front end here. This piece here is not as good as this one. Looks like the clear is kind of bad. So I'm going to use this bottom piece on the original that I had. And there's a couple 12 or 14 millimeter bolts, I'm not sure, right there, that holds this whole thing on. So I'm going to just remove that late model one and put the early one on, and just press forward here on taking this thing apart. What I did was pull off my clutch lever. You have to 2 bolts on it, and then you have to loosen up your switch bracket there. It comes right off. Got it out of the way, so I should be able to get all of this kind of hung together here for temporary anyway. Alright, I got this all back together. I didn't bother taking my turn signals or anything out here because this is the broken piece, and I need to pull the light apart and unplug them. And I found some bad parts. Well, not bad, but kind of rusty. Looks like this late model front end must have set out in the water. There's quite a bit of corrosion in it. but I'll use the best parts of everything. And I got off my little piece down here, and this is what I was mainly aiming for, was this thing. I'm going to paint it gold, mostly because it's a little messed up, and it's part of the bracket. There's also one that goes here. I'm going to get it out of there. It's on the other front end, and I'll paint it too. Yeah, here's another little snag I suspected. This is the early fork brace, and these things are, you can see the edge here is on the where it's supposed to go, and over here it's, you know, 10 millimeters to the side. So this fork brace is not going to work at all. It's pretty crappy anyway. It's just pressed aluminum. So I need to figure out some way of doing that. A good fork brace is, I don't know, pretty polished one with vmax on it. It's like $100 or something. I'll see if I can find a stock one, and I was just going to fill this. I don't know what I'm going to do, but anyway, the big fork tubes won't work with the early model small fork tube cover. Well, moving along to the next step in the drama, I got the late model brakes on it. I don't know if this camera can see, but it looks like that this rotor is touching the outside of that brake caliper, and same thing here. Yeah, the camera really can't see down in there, it's too dark, but let me jack it up a little. Yeah, I don't hear any metal to metal. It is hitting those pads there. I got a little light in there. Yeah, it's just it looks to me like it's touching. It should make some kind of noise. Same thing over here. Well, it's really close. Looks like I only got about 50 thousandths or something in there, maximum of clearance. The same thing on this side. Now I know that that's the right calipers for these forks, but this is the early wheel, and I've got a new set of rotors here. Let me just check these and see what the deal is. Alright, here's the rotors that I was going to put on it. Like I said before, these things don't stop very good. There's the old one. You notice this is a one piece, and this is a floating disc. This one, let's see, yeah, that 0 is 31, and this one 2. So there's about 10 thousandths difference. And we also have this this thing in here, and it's at 35. What was this one again? 30. Oh, this one's all warped anyway. 30 thousandths. So this is 35 thousandths. I would just guess half of that. This is 20, so there's 15 thousandths on each side. that's probably just about enough to move this this disc over to the outside 15 thousandths. And that's about what I got in there touching the thing. I guess what I should do, of course these are a different diameter too. I don't know if you can tell here. Nah, there's no way to measure it like that. But anyway, this is a much better braking system, because this is the wrong diameter. It's not really going up into the brakes properly. So what I really need to do is break one of these rotors loose and put on the correct one. I might have to have new bolts too. And see what I've got here. It may take a little doing, but I'm going to have to change something to get a decent braking system in here. I'm going to pull the other side because it's easier to get to. Or well, I don't have to pull off the speedometer and stuff. I can just pull the axle back and get this rotor off. I'm gonna just put this rotor here on with one of these new ones on here and see what my clearance is again. This camera keeps going off. The wheel spins, and I don't know, you probably can't see in there, but I got at least 30 thousandths clearance between the body of the brake caliper and the disc, and this one over here is still touching. You can see a lot of difference between these two discs, and a little more comparison. That's how much bigger they are. Quite a bit of difference between the two discs. That one there is almost 3/4 of an inch bigger in diameter, and of course it's floating. These things here let this thing actually move just a little bit. So these are far improved brakes. I'm happy to hear that these calipers are going to work with these discs. I think these were off they weren't a vmax, a Venture Royale or something like that, but the interchange said they were the same discs. So yeah, that's a lot better, and it definitely looks better. Yeah, get my stopping fixed. I've got brand new brake pads and everything here for all of this. I need to take it all off again, of course, and clean up that wheel real good. These wheels were in real nice shape, not really messed up or anything. Look like there's a little factory yellow paint that was supposed to go in there. It's all faded out. I'll probably just clean that all up and try to polish that wheel best I can. But anyway, it was my last headache. I wasn't sure whether this was going to work at all, but everything went on. It's all bolted down pretty tight. Got plenty of clearance. Looks like the only thing that I didn't plan on was that fork brace. I'll try to find something like that. Anyway, another little cycle here on the front end. Looks like it's gonna work out all right. By the way, just a little engineering trivia. These are cuts through this this brake rotor, and if you notice here, I don't know if you can really tell, but there's a little radius right there. on both sides. And that's the same on every one of these. There's just a little radius cut there. The reason for that, if they just left a sharp edge here where they had machined this out and just left a little sharp crack right there, you have sharp corners, and that's what causes your failure of things. You can't just leave a sharp corner because it'll break in that corner. So what you have to do is machine off just a little radius, and this will keep that corner from breaking. I mean, it don't seem like much. Most people would probably never even notice or think about it, but it's just a very good engineering practice to put a radius on something like that, because you eliminate those stress points of a sharp corner with a round radius, and your part is actually much stronger. So the more I work on this thing, the more I'm impressed by Yamaha's engineers. They thought of every little tiny detail.